April 14th, 1941. Dawn breaks over the windswept airfield of RAF Cranwell in Lincolnshire, England. Mist curls across the tarmac, clinging to the wheels of a solitary aircraft as it shudders under the weight of its pilot. Lieutenant James "Jimmy" Hargrove, barely 22, tightens the straps of his leather helmet and scans the horizon through frost-flecked goggles. The aircraft before him is a humble wooden trainer, a low-cost, plywood-framed biplane with a canvas covering that seems almost laughable compared to the sleek Spitfires and Hurricanes lined up beside it. His squadron had already begun their morning drills, their laughter carrying over the hum of idling engines. Mocking the absurdity of sending a man into combat with such fragile equipment, Jimmy swings open the cockpit, the wood creaking under his weight. The smell of varnish and engine oil mingles with the cold morning air. His fingers brush the rudimentary controls, the simple joystick and levers far removed from the precision instruments of frontline fighters. The trainers were never meant for combat, yet here he was, assigned to patrol over occupied France, tasked with defending convoys and airspace against the Luftwaffe. The young pilot can feel the weight of the skepticism pressing on him harder than the canvas, fuselage above his head, as he starts the engine. The propeller shudders to life, a deep, uneven thrum that seems too weak to carry him into the skies. Around him, the other pilot's laughter fades as the roar of higher performance fighters dominates the field. Yet, Jimmy's focus narrows. The wooden plane may be fragile, it may be underestimated, but in its light frame and nimble wings lies a chance for agility, a chance to surprise the enemy. He taxis down the runway, the wheels rattling over frost-cracked tarmac, and feels the plane respond instantly to every subtle movement of the rudder. This is no monster of the skies, but perhaps that will be its advantage. Above, the morning sun pierces the mist, and Jimmy pushes the throttle forward. The biplane trembles, lurches, and then rises. The wind tears past the wings, carrying the scent of frost and oil. The roar of the engine competing with the distant calls of his squadron mates. As the airfield falls away beneath him, the wooden bird seems almost alive, vibrating with every gust, every twitch of the controls. Somewhere below, the channel stretches, grey and cold, carrying the first hints of enemy aircraft that patrol these skies daily. And Jimmy knows, deep in his chest, that soon he will face them. Not in a fighter designed for dogfights, but in this fragile, wooden frame. The young pilot's heart pounds with a mixture of fear and anticipation. The mocking laughter of his comrades has faded, replaced by the tense silence of the clouds and the hum of his engine. Today will not be a day of ridicule, he tells himself. Today, the sky itself will bear witness. As he climbs higher, the channel below spreading like a steel-grey mirror. Jimmy's grip tightens on the controls, eyes scanning the horizon for the first flickers of enemy activity. The wooden plane may appear weak, but its pilot is determined. And above all, he knows that sometimes the element of surprise lies in what your enemy refuses to respect. By mid-morning, Jimmy Hargrove reaches 12,000 feet above the churning waters of the English Channel. The mist has lifted, revealing an expanse of grey sea broken by the occasional fishing trawler. And somewhere far ahead, the first glint of enemy aircraft catches his eye. For Messerschmitt, Bf-19s glide with menacing precision, their sleek fuselages gleaming in the pale sunlight. Jimmy's pulse quickens, but there is no room for hesitation. His wooden biplane may not have the speed or armor of a Spitfire, but it is light, nimble, and, most importantly, unpredictable. The enemy formation circles like wolves. unaware of the lone, fragile bird approaching from below. Jimmy leans forward, eyes scanning every movement, noting their wing angles, anticipating turns. The first Bf-109 breaks formation, diving sharply, and Jimmy ducks, banking his biplane in a maneuver that would have strained any larger aircraft. The canvas wings quiver under the stress, but respond perfectly to his touch. The Messerschmitt overshoots, its pilot momentarily blinded by the sudden agility of this unexpected opponent. Jimmy fires a burst from the biplane's light machine gun, the tracers streaking through the air. One enemy fighter wobbles and spirals into the channel, smoke curling from its engine. For a moment, time stretches. Jimmy feels every vibration of the wooden frame, every gust of wind, as if it were an extension of his own body. The Luftwaffe pilots glance at each other, disbelief flickering across their faces. They had been trained to dismiss any threat from such primitive craft, to expect them to flee or crumble under fire. But here was Jimmy, weaving through the air with precision and confidence, exploiting the biplane's small turning radius to dodge and counterattack. Another fighter dives toward him, but Jimmy rolls sharply, the enemy overshooting once again. Another burst, and another plane wobbles, smoke trailing from its wingtip below. The channel waters reflect the chaos above, small splashes marking the downed enemy aircraft. Jimmy's squadron back at Cranwell can only watch on the radio, incredulous. He's in a trainer. He's actually engaging them, mutters a fellow pilot. Yet there is no hesitation in Jimmy's actions. Each turn, dive, and ascent is calculated, using the plane's light frame and agility to outmaneuver the heavier, faster Messerschmitt. His fear transforms into focus, and with every burst of machine gun fire, he carves his presence into the sky, proving that sometimes courage and skill can outweigh technology. The engagement intensifies. Enemy fighters begin to tighten their formation, attempting to corner him, but Jimmy anticipates, slipping in and out of the sun's glare, his wooden plane bouncing and darting like a bird of prey. Each successful hit forces a fighter into the grey waters below, and yet he remains astonishingly calm, every move deliberate, every maneuver exploiting the inherent weaknesses of the enemy's confidence. The once mocked wooden plane now becomes a weapon of surprise, a testament to the unexpected potency of ingenuity paired with skill. By late morning, Jimmy's engagement has drawn attention from every corner of the Channel skies. His wooden biplane, once a symbol of ridicule among his squadron, now dances amid the black crosses of the Luftwaffe with lethal precision. The initial 4 Messerschmitts have become 7, each determined to down the lone trainer that refuses to yield. The sun reflects off polished fuselages and glinting machine guns, but Jimmy does not flinch. He leans into the controls, feeling the responsiveness of the wooden frame beneath him. Each quiver of the wings an extension of his instinct. One enemy fighter dives headlong, anticipating an easy kill. Jimmy rolls sharply, letting gravity and momentum carry him out of harm's way, then twists into a counterattack. The tracer rounds from his light machine guns find the wing root of the Bf-109, and smoke spirals upward as the plane stutters before plummeting into the waters below. Another enemy swoops in from the right, banking aggressively, trying to predict his next move. Jimmy dives, banking low over the channel waves, the wind shrieking past him, then pulls up sharply, letting the biplane's tight-turning radius leave the faster, heavier fighter overshooting. A second plane succumbs to fire, crashing with a distant splash that echoes across the grey expanse. As the minutes pass, Jimmy's reputation grows in real time. The Luftwaffe pilots, trained for aerial dominance, begin to hesitate, uncertainty creeping into their formation. They had mocked the idea that a wooden trainer could survive a single sortie, let alone take down multiple fighters, but the evidence is undeniable. Each downed plane adds to the legend of the wooden bird. As radio chatter from other pilots begins to note the impossible, he's still alive. He's taking them down. 7 already. Jimmy's mind remains razor-sharp despite the intensity. He anticipates every maneuver, every possible trap. A third fighter dives in from above, thinking the element of surprise is on its side. But Jimmy rolls, twisting the wooden frame into a near-impossible angle. His guns fire again, and the third plane shudders, smoke erupting from its engine as it spirals into the water. His heart races, yet he feels a strange serenity, a merging of pilot and plane. The mockery of his comrades, the laughter that once followed him across Cranwell's tarmac, fades into irrelevance. What matters now is skill, timing, and survival. The battle becomes almost cinematic. The channel below churns with dark water, whitecaps thrown by the wind, while above, tracer rounds cut arcs through the blue-grey sky. Jimmy banks sharply, dodging another fighter that attempts a head-on pass and counters, shooting with deadly accuracy. By midday, 4 more enemy planes have fallen under his relentless assault. Exhaustion begins to creep into his arms and shoulders. The strain of controlling the delicate wooden aircraft under extreme duress threatening to overwhelm him. Yet every moment is precise, every decision born of training, instinct, and the realization that this fragile plane, once laughed at, now carries the weight of both defiance and survival. The skies fall quiet as Jimmy banks westward, surveying the aftermath. 7 enemy fighters have been downed in a single engagement. Each crash a testament to courage, skill, and the unexpected potency of an underestimated weapon. Word of his feat spreads through both airfields and command posts, disbelief mingling with awe. The wooden plane, dismissed as a joke, has become the instrument of an improbable legend. Jimmy, breathing hard but composed, realizes that mockery can be turned into triumph, and a single determined pilot can alter the course of any battle, no matter how unassuming his tools may appear. As Jimmy glides back toward RAF Cranwell, the wind buffeting the wooden wings, he takes stock of the morning's events. The channel below, now littered with debris and drifting wreckage, bears silent witness to the improbable battle that unfolded above it. His arms ache, his fingers numb from gripping the rudimentary controls. Yet a sense of accomplishment surges through him stronger than fatigue. The once mocked wooden plane, with its fragile frame and patched canvas, has survived the impossible and, in doing so, transformed Jimmy from a young pilot into a legend. Upon landing, the airfield is abuzz with disbelief. Squadron mates, who had jeered and doubted him mere hours before, now gather in stunned silence. Engineers, mechanics, and commanding officers all rush forward, eyes wide as they take in the wooden biplane and its pilot. 7 enemy fighters. A senior officer asks, his voice tight with incredulity. Jimmy offers a quiet nod, sweat streaming beneath his leather helmet, a grin creeping across his face despite exhaustion. The laughter that once marked the aircraft as a joke has vanished, replaced by awe, respect, and the realization that ingenuity and courage can defy even the harshest expectations in the days that follow. Word of Jimmy's exploits spreads beyond Cranwell. Reports reach command centers, radio operators, and fellow pilots across the front. The wooden plane becomes a symbol, a reminder that even the most underestimated tools, when wielded by skill and determination, can change the course of events. Historians later cite this engagement as a testament to the ingenuity and bravery of Allied pilots in the early stages of World War II, emphasizing that raw courage and creative tactics often proved more decisive than technology alone. For Jimmy, the personal triumph is matched by the lessons learned in the sky that day. He understands, in a way few can, that respect is earned not by the size of your aircraft or the armor of your fuselage, but by the skill, ingenuity, and unwavering focus of the pilot at its controls. The wooden plane, fragile yet responsive, becomes more than a vehicle. It becomes an extension of his instincts, a weapon of improvisation that turned mockery into legend. The airfield itself seems transformed, the morning mist now imbued with the echo of his daring. The hum of engines, a tribute to the audacity that carried him through impossible odds. Decades later, stories of Jimmy Hargrove and his wooden plane are recounted in books, documentaries, and veteran reunions. The lesson endures. In war, as in life, underestimation can be a weapon, and courage can redefine what is possible. The fragile wooden biplane, once a subject of ridicule, stands immortalized not in museums, but in the memory of those who understand the sky, the fight, and the extraordinary potential of the human spirit. Even as the years pass, the story of Jimmy Hargrove and his wooden biplane continues to inspire generations of pilots and military strategists. At flight schools, instructors recount the tale not simply as a story of aerial heroism, but as a study in creativity, adaptability, and exploiting the unexpected. Students are reminded that raw speed, heavy armor, or cutting-edge technology are not guarantees of success. Sometimes, a small, overlooked tool wielded with ingenuity and courage can produce results that defy logic. Veterans who served alongside Jimmy often speak of the quiet determination that defined him. He never sought glory, never bragged, yet his actions spoke louder than words. He taught his peers that confidence, quick thinking, and an intimate understanding of one's equipment could turn even the most precarious situation into a victory. The wooden plane, once mocked and dismissed, becomes a symbol of this principle, a reminder that respect and power are earned through action, not reputation or appearance. Jimmy himself, in later interviews, reflects on that fateful day with humility. He recalls the hum of the engine, the cold bite of the wind, the precise rhythm of every maneuver, and how the laughter of his comrades had transformed into astonishment. He emphasizes that fear is inevitable, but mastery over it combined with creativity and resolve can elevate the seemingly impossible into reality. The skies over the English Channel, once a stage for mockery, had become the proving ground where a young pilot and his wooden plane reshaped the very definition of courage and skill. Ultimately, the story endures not just as a remarkable wartime anecdote, but as a timeless lesson. Never underestimate what is considered weak. Never dismiss ingenuity, and never doubt the power of a determined individual. In the fragile wings of a wooden trainer aircraft, Jimmy Hargrove discovered the true essence of heroism, a lesson that continues to soar, inspiring all who dare to fly beyond expectations.